Is it a stream at night that isn't Mass Effect? Oh my goodness. Welcome one and all. Welcome one and all to a lovely tabletop role-playing game stream. It is the World of TTRPGs once again. It's been a while since we've done one. And I'm so incredibly grateful to be able to do one. So please, welcome, be comfortable. And if you like the music you're hearing, this is Pocket Bard. It's completely free. There is a subscription model that you can get to if you would like to buy more, if you would like to see the full catalog. But this music that you'll hear today, most of it is completely free. So this is not sponsored. I just like them a lot, and I'm giving them credit because I'm using the music in our streams. And it's royalty free, so I thought I'd give credit to the composers and the creators of the app. So go check out Pocket Bard if you haven't already. If you haven't joined the Discord, please consider doing so. Become part of our community. We talk about lots of stuff. And if you want to check out this for the first time, if you're watching on the VOD, if you're watching live, if you're active in chat, if you're not active in chat, if wherever you are in the world, however you're feeling today, it is lovely to have you here. Thank you for making me and us a part of your day. And thanks for spending some time with us today. Today we're going to talk about all things tabletop RPG. Really, it's viewer driven, so this is where you get to take some control. If you would like to mention anything, if you'd like to ask me anything, if you'd like to discuss anything right now, or talk to me about anything D&D or tabletop role-playing game related, I am happy to answer any questions, to engage in creativity, to help you make a character, to help you with a group problem you might be having, to all sorts of stuff. It's very viewer-driven, and if you can't think of anything, we're going to go online. I have pages of Reddit open that we can look at, so we're not going to be starved for content. There's always some other people that we can look at that are having problems that we can talk about. But if there is something you'd like to talk about today, and anything tabletop that you'd like to explore, maybe you want to investigate another system, maybe you'd want to like know my thoughts on a particular system, you want to do a review or a breakdown, it's up to you. So it's totally, yeah, it's totally up to you. Raz58, Baron, Alferg, hello. Give me your mental health out of 10, your physical health out of 10. I'd love to know how you're doing today. If you had a good day, that's great. If you're not a good day, that's okay too. No stress. I was sleeping, I just woke up. Well, wakey, eggs and bakey, rise and shine, Baron. It is time for a new day. I'll be mostly a chat participant today. We'll be working on my car in a little while. Okay. Also, don't forget die. Ooh, I'll do die. I could do some die if that's what you want me to do. I could die for you. I would die for you, 10 out of 10 day. Amazing. Very happy to hear that. Not that it's very rare. You do often have 10 out of 10 days, which I'm happy about. I'd love to know how your day's been going. If you haven't woken up just yet. If you haven't just woken up, if you had a day to spend, then tell me how it's been going. My day was okay. If you missed the morning stream, we did some casual gaming. We played Oh Dear, and then we played Jackbox. It was a lot of fun, which is very chill. And then afterwards, I stopped and played some more games, some more Jackbox games. Then I played some Squadrons. And then after that, I engaged in a little bit of nostalgia. And I installed 2 games that I've completed. The second game I haven't actually fully completed yet because when I played it, I was just a kid and I didn't really understand what I was doing. But the first game is called Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. It's fantastic. It's an incredible old like RPG. It's a single player one. It's just fantastic. I love that. It's not open world at all. It's just really fun. And then the second one is Gothic 3, which happens to have aged like milk in many ways. I mentioned this in the Discord general chat, but one of the pitfalls of old storytelling is realizing how far we've come as a species socially. Because you start to realize, it's not that you start to realize it, it's more that you remember. And you remember from this perspective. I'll explain what I mean in a second, but just imagine, if you will, someone on the internet who makes it their personality to talk about how everything is woke nowadays and everything is super diverse and it never used to be this way. People just got too sensitive now about it. And then I want you to think back to those days and think, really, was it non-existent then? Because I don't know, because I played Gothic 3, and in Gothic 3, you have you have like an opening cinematic, and then a whole first level, and then it's open world. It's sandbox RPG. It's great. And then you go to the first like encampment for rebels that are fighting against orcs. And only about 2 hours into the game, maybe even longer, do you meet your if you're following the main quest, do you meet your first non-male character, like your first woman in the game. The first woman in the game is an NPC, not named, called Female Rebel. And of course, the men in the group are just called rebels. They're not called male rebels, because we need that distinction, apparently. And yeah, I think it was very interesting for me to play and realize that, wow, we really did, and that's not that long ago, that's like 20 years ago. We really did have different standards in media and in storytelling. And it's really important to remember that. So there you go. Alright, I'll go with an arbitrary 7 out of 10 on both for today. Okay, alright, that's not arbitrary, that's very good. It's very good. General focus out of 10 due to being 1 hour 17 minutes into a 4-hour endurance race. Jesus, 5'8". Might pause a few times or suspend altogether to interact. GT5? Wait. Oh, you're doing Gran Turismo. Okay, I was like, whoa, damn, you're actually racing. I was looking up that Microsoftly news. Oh, it's not Microsoft. No, it's CrowdStrike. So let me, yeah. So let's quickly talk about that so everyone's clear on the information. CrowdStrike is a company that makes, I think it's a security company, like an internal security company, that makes a lot of products that integrate with Windows computers, among other computers. And they released an update to their Windows computer users, their Microsoft computer users, that broke the System32 file, which basically causes the computer to do a BIOS basically constantly. It's called a DOS. I think it does it like a DOS boot. It gets stuck in what is called a boot loop of some kind, where it just starts up and shuts down, starts up and shuts down. And but the crazy thing about it is that it's happened for millions of computers. And the even crazier thing is that the solution has to be done personally for each computer. So you need to hire a technician to actually go in and fix each computer personally, because each computer has different files you need to delete. It is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So like, you would say like some of it is funny, you know, like you know, computers don't work, and you know that can be a little bit funny. But then also airports close down, and like flights are delayed, and like emergency services don't work in some countries because they relied on CrowdStrike, or they relied on a Windows PC that was broken by CrowdStrike. It's pretty insane. It's pretty insane. So yeah, I would now you know. It just happens to be done on Windows computers because it was an update from CrowdStrike onto Windows. But obviously you'll see a lot of people kind of running with the narrative that it was Windows. So just make sure that we're all clear on that and that we all know what information is where. All right. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about lots of D&D stuff. I'd love to know. Are you guys doing any D&D right now in your life? Are you doing any role play? You got any stories to share? Any tabletop stuff that you'd like to ask me about or just tell me about? I'd love to have that conversation. I think an airport in UK had to do an emergency switch to paper tickets only due to that. That is crazy. Going back to pen and paper is wild. I'm actually working on some Mutants and Masterminds adventure stuff right now. Ooh, what are you doing, Raz? How often do you have this? I assume this is a superhero show, like a Marvel style, like comic book superhero TTRPG. It sounds, I mean, I would love to play a superhero. That sounds freaking cool. Like you can choose powers and stuff. God, I'd be a teleporter. I'd be a teleporter. I would 100% be a teleporter. Can I look quickly? I would love to look at Mutants and Masterminds. Is the PDF free? Which edition are you doing? Because there's apparently a couple of editions. Green Ronin store, Mutants and Masterminds HQ. Let's have a look. Let's let our first little bit of stream for tabletop role-playing games be... Your location is set for South Korea. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware I'm in South Korea. Internet. It's in 3rd edition. Okay. It's really crazy what would happen if someone could take our computers. Yeah, dude, if the internet shut down, there was actually a really interesting show. There was a TV show about that. A D-list TV show. With, it was like Under the Dome type of quality TV. And it was about what happened when if the internet just suddenly goes away. Well, like, the electricity went out. And they have to figure out, like, why. It's not zombies. It's the fact that they live in, like, they had a world of technology and then the electricity went out. It was very, very interesting. Okay, I want to look at the PDF for, hang on. 3E PDF. Ooh, free PDFs. Ooh, cool. There we go. Hey, someone uploaded a Google Drive. Thank you. Wow, DC Universe, Emerald City Knights, character sheets, power profiles. That's so cool. Okay, Mutants and Masterminds 3E Game Master's Guide, Supernatural Handbook, core rules. I would love to look at these core rules. Yo, look at that album art. That's so sick. Okay. Some of this looks really cool. I'm currently fine-tuning some of the villains my players will eventually be tangling with. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, so you've got, like, you got some skills, some advantages. Ah, okay, acquiring powers. What kind of powers can you have? Can you have teleport? Teleport is mine. I want teleport. Oh, character archetypes. Okay, battlesuit, construct, crime fighter, martial artist, mystic, powerhouse. Yeah, I think speedster would probably be mine as well. Speedster sounds great. All right, so how does gameplay work? If we head over to page 12. Oh shit. Wait, time? Huh? The relation between rank and measure has a number of uses. The capabilities of many traits are I'm just picking a random page. Wow, interesting. Time rank, distance rank minus speed rank. Oh my god. Throwing distance rank? What do you mean? What's happening? Okay, checks. Your hero stands perched on the rooftop looking down through the skylight. In the abandoned warehouse below, the villain throws the switch that begins lowering your hero's friends to the vat of boiling acid. You turn to the game and say, I leap down, smashing through the skylight, swing over the catwalk, kick the bad guy out of the way, then flip the switch to stop the lowering mechanism. How exactly do you do that in the game? Yeah, you have to do a check. Okay, make a check by rolling the die, adding the rank, and comparing the result against a DC. Okay, cool. And it's just succeed or fail. Interesting. Oh, it's a D20 system. Oh, cool. Okay, so it's a D20 system where all you need is a D20. Oh shit, okay, cool. Teleporting is an available power, yay! And the quick build system has an archetype for a teleporting speedster. Oh my god! Oh, hold on. We're gonna get to that. Yeah, so leap down, jumping down, no need for a check. Smashing through the skylight, you could swing over to the catwalk. You have a swing movement effect or routine check. Kick the bad guy out of the way. Flip the switch back up. Okay. Critical success. Yeah, natural. Okay, so natural 20 is a critical success. Very cool. Then, so very easy is 0. Easy is 5. Average is 10. Tough is 15. Challenging is 20. Formidable 25. Heroic 30. Superheroic 35. Nigh impossible 40. Track a train commander through the jungle on a moonless night after 12 days of rainfall. Very cool, very cool. Okay. Oh, win a car race. There's some cool stuff here. Yo, vehicles and stuff? Bro, what? I want to play this game. This sounds cool as hell. Okay, yeah, you get the action rounds, standard action, move action, free action, reaction. Okay, so you get one standard action every round. Then you can take your move action before or after. You can't split it up. and then you take a free action, and then it's a reaction in response to something else. So there's no bonus action or anything else. It's just action, move, bonus action. Is that how it works? There's also degrees of success depending on how well you succeed or fail. Okay, yeah. I'm seeing that it's pretty straightforward. It's just when your turn begins, you just do attack, move, and that's it. I suppose that would be pretty interesting because it's like it keeps it quite streamlined, which I don't think is bad. And you got some you have a lot of conditions. Wow. Like incapacitated, paralyzed. Ah, you could have extra effort. Okay. You can get additional action, or you can get a bonus. You can get a power effect, a power stunt, resistance, retry, or a reroll. Nice. Or you can get speed or strength, and then you get a cost. You become fatigued. Ah, okay, cool. And if you exhausted, then you incapacitate. Okay, so you can do it 3 times, and then you're out. Okay, hero points. Spending a hero point can mean... Oh, this is like a force point in Star Wars, isn't it? Yeah, basically this is like your auto success. Okay, cool. This is like... Okay, cool. So this is like you, yeah, I do this a lot. We have a system called force points in the Star Wars D6 system, where it's basically an I win button. Not necessarily, but it doubles the dice for whatever you're doing. So it's pretty cool. Okay. Dude, this album art is so sick. Oh my god. Crush me. Instant counter, earning hero points. Yo, what is this stuff? This is so cool. Secret origins. Okay. I think I would like to, I would like to go and find the teleporting speedster, please. Please. Motivations and conflict, other complications. Your background, you have an accident. Ah, accident, alien, endowment. Do you have any well-endowed players on your team, Raz? In your party? Okay, age, appearance, costume, alternate identity. Personality, goals. Dude, these costumes are so cool. Okay, hero advancement, increasing power level. Okay, cool, the battle suit. Yeah, alright, so these are the kinds of, these are the templates that you can have. Okay, so what does a strength of 12 do? Like, is it a plus 12 to your, let's have a look here. I wanna see this quickly. Titles, theme, name. This is just for your background. I wanna see your, your stuff. Ah, there we go, power level 12. The big leagues. Oh, wait, no, this is, Ah, this is your level. Okay, I get it. I just want to know what your abilities are. Pay 2 power points for each rank. Choose defense bonuses. Like, what are the abilities? What are they described as? And if they get really high, like, what's the? If they go really high, what's the other one? There are, of course, free actions and reactions too. Like, if you have an electric field around you that shocks anyone trying to touch you, it would be a damage effect with a reaction modifier. Ah, okay, cool. Okay. Is that Katranus? Incredible! Hello, Chris. How are you? MJ, a strength of 12 means you can lift 100 tons. Okay, so, I mean, that's pretty cool. Page 87, you say. Okay, I'm gonna go to page 87 quickly, and then I'll go back to this page. Page 87 says... Oh, it's... Wait, here. Seize initiative, special... Huh? Wait, prone fighting, move by... This is not... You're lying to me, Raz. I'm being deceived. Chapter 6, powers, modifiers, power descriptions. Is this it? Is this how it works? Are we gonna get a attack, control, defense? General? I don't help me, Raz. That's not the deluxe version. Ah, okay. Well, there is a table of contents, so let's go look there. Do I have to call you Katranus here? Katranus? Feels weird calling you by your last name. Feels like we're back in school. But welcome. It's so nice to have you here. I know that you were here for like 1 or 2 streams very long time ago. Maybe even for Jedi Survivor once or twice. But then you dropped off the map and now you're back. It's lovely to have you here. We've been waiting. I'd love to know what it is you'd like to talk about. And if you feel comfortable doing it, we can chat in voice chat as well. That's totally fine. The deluxe version of the Hero's Handbook has a quick start character builder. I think there must be in this Google Drive. There has to be. Well, let's have a look. So I do want to look at these are ability ranks, hero archetypes. So these ones, these are the archetypes. The powerhouse princess. Okay, ability ranks. Maybe it's here. Each ability has a rank associated with it. Okay. Okay, this is it. Okay. So abilities start at rank 0, the baseline average for an adult human being. Okay, so adult human beings have 0. They can go as low as -5, truly terrible, and as high as 20, with higher values reserved for truly cosmic beings. Okay. Okay, oh, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So, anything from 10 to 13 is high superhuman. So I want to duplicate this quickly. And I'm going to go to the... Oh, this is the deluxe edition, isn't it? I believe this might be deluxe. Oh, wow. This is deluxe. Okay, we're going to have a look at that instead. Okay. There we go. Hero's Handbook Deluxe. Give me a little zoom in on that. Right, so if I look at the abilities quickly. Oh, this one's not bookmarked properly. Oh well, we'll go to 107 is the abilities page. Okay. Where can I find this? It looks amazing. This is freely available on Google Drive. I will actually give this. I will post this in TTRPG Media. So it's in the Discord now. If you go to TTRPG Media and you go to this, this is a drive for all Mutants and Masterminds resources. A superhero TTRPG that we're looking at on stream. Okay, so there you go. You can now look at it there. Deluxe, now you can go to page 87. Okay, well I will go to page 87 in a moment. Let me go here and see what 87 gives me. Ah, wait. Oh no, no, I'm rolling for that. Wait, no, no, this still doesn't give me things. Ah, Speedster, here we go. This is the Speedster, but... The Shapeshifter. The Summoner. Okay. So... I want to look here. There we go. So, essentially... This is what we're looking at for abilities. So let's see. Speedsters can move great distances little to no time. They do this either by running or flying at superhuman speeds, or by instantly transporting themselves from one place to another. Okay, so Teleporter counts as Speedster. Because of their great speed, speedsters seldom need ranged powers. Speedsters are also able to use their movement mode to break the laws of physics in ways even other fast superheroes are incapable of doing. But here's the thing, right? Here's what I feel like. Speedsters done right are the most overpowered ability. I can't... Like the Flash, right? Like, for example, with the feats that the Flash has done, what can you do? Like, it's the Flash. He's just a god at this point. Like, not even Superman can do what Flash can do. You know, in terms of just pure speed. And then if they want him to do that, they've got to do the power creep thing where the superheroes get more and more powerful every comic issue. Speedsters are an inherently, like, if they don't have a ceiling, they are an inherently broken power, I feel. And you could say, yeah, but you could apply that to any power, but no, not in the way you could to super speed. Just realized I was 3 minutes behind. Oh boy. I'm on low latency mode, so you should be okay. Okay, so roll 1d20 once and record the result. Veteran, youth, or old-timer. Okay, cool. Strength, agility, fighting, aware. Yo, really? This is it? Wait, these are all your... Why is there nothing above 5? This is best in a nation? But you're a speedster. What do you mean? Okay. And then you can, like, close attack 2, equipment, nimble, prodigy, team player. Okay, then you get skills. Gravity defying runner, rapid metabolism, time traveler. Jesus. Oh, flying, cosmic speedster, etc. That's pretty cool. Ah, teleporting. Very cool, very cool. Okay. I've got to say your stats are not great. Like if I look at the battle, hold on, where was the battle station thing? Let's go down here. I want to go down here. Where's the character archetype? Where's the battle suit? Because there's speedster. Unless, yeah, this is a quick start character generator, but like character archetype. Let's go with the character archetype. Let's look at page 47. Okay. Well, that's a shapeshifter. Okay, fighting 6. Cool. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, see, this is crap. It's so weak. What's happening? For example, my players are faced off against a posse of cursed undead desperados controlled by a luck-bending card sharp and a pair of power suits, one themed with ice and the other with fire. That sounds so cool! That's just the baseline, MJ. Superpowers are added later on top of the wall. Okay, okay, okay. Well, if they're gonna get better, then that's fine. This is like a level 1 character, so that's fine. I'm here. Hello, Thomas! Superhero TTRPG! I know! Isn't it cool? We're just doing we're doing a breakdown. There's no specific, like, pattern to this breakdown. It's just a general look over of the TTRPG. This would be really fun to do if I had infinite time. Okay. Yeah. You get powers. Okay. Fast attack, damage 3, strength based, multi attack, blah blah blah. Fast defense, super speed, enhanced initiative, quickness 10, speed 15, 60. What? 64,000 miles per hour. That's the speedster. 64,000 miles an hour. I don't know. That's really fast. What do you mean? That's crazy. And those power suits are, in turn, working for a soul-stealing fae of the Unseelie Court, a juxtaposition of ice and fire, magic, and technology. That's so sick. Raz, it would be an honor to be a player in your games. It sounds so cool. Yo, the warrior's just sitting with a 10 in 2 skills, dude. 2 of them. Intellect 0. Incredible. I want to see who's rocking the high points. Strength and stamina 0. Oh, this is a psychic. This would be pretty interesting. What is happening? A powerhouse has a 14 stamina and a 12 in strength? And then a 1 in everything else. They're definitely designed to do one thing, it does feel like. I mean, the Paragon is 12 and 12. I mean, this is just Superman, basically. The Mystic. Why is his face so wide? And, ooh, the Mimic. Ooh. Wait, why have they got a 1 in so many places? Oh, because they duplicate their subject's traits. That's cool as hell. 13 in fighting? Do you know what I like about this? What I like so far is that those with lower stats get other powers that can, like, those with lower stats get, like, other powers that sort of, that sort of compensate for that. And then you've got some archetypes that like they shine in their area, so no one like outshines the other, which I think is really, really cool. So if you're going with archetypes, then I think they've been chosen really well. Yeah, dude, powerhouses are like full of stamina, man. I'm sure it includes that kind of stamina as well. A 12 and 5. Oh, this is a Batman type, like a vigilante. Cool. A construct. Ooh, they don't need stamina because they're a robot. That's cool as hell. Wow, 11 strength. Okay, and then the battle suit. There we go. 12 strength. Okay. Okay, so having a quick look at the like the archetypes, they're quite fun. They look quite cool. And then you've got some advantages, some acquiring powers. Oh, cool, you got some power effects as well. Some modifiers. Oh my god. This is a pretty beefy PDF. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, you could make a construct, yeah. Oh, you get a headquarters. That's so cool. Some characters lean more on their abilities like the Paragon and Powerhouse. Others rely more on skills, powers, and advantages like Martial Artist, Crime Fighter, and Mystics. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. This is a really cool thing. So if you guys are a fan of this and you wanna, you know, try this out, it's in the Discord. So you can go and look up that yourself. Oh, what a lovely warm-up. That was great. Welcome, Zareth. We are indeed studying TTRPGs. You know that thing that you crave and can never have? That. How are you today, sir? How have you been? How's your day been today? All right, with that, I think we're good for now. We can kind of move on. I would love to go and read something on Reddit. Let's see what people have talked about with horror stories and things like that. But if anyone has any stories they'd like to share in the stream chat, if there's any advice that you require at this point, if there's any, yeah, if there's anything else that you would like to talk about, then please let me know. I would love to have that discussion with you. Maybe I should consider hosting a game of M&M for you. Oh my god! Time, I'm afraid. I would never put that on you to like make an entire game for me unless you really wanted to, in which case I would ask that you include other people so we can have like a group thing. But also, a one-shot would be incredible. To be a player again would scratch an itch that I've had for years. Truly, I crave TTRPGs but never have the time. Yep, I feel you. Not about the retail thing, but I do feel you that I'm very blessed to have a tabletop role-playing game now. But there was the time zones make it so that I can't really do other tabletop RPGs. Like that's when I break the day up into morning, afternoon, evening for 7 days, Sunday evening for me is the only time that everyone could make. Like the only time. It's pretty crazy. I can't just do like Friday night D&D, you know, because that's Friday afternoon for people and they're at work. Yeah, you're at work right now, so that's... Wait, it's a Saturday as well. Jesus Christ. Yeah, obviously there'd be others included. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. You stuck as a forever DM? No! I choose to be one. I think I could have... If I wanted my one tabletop slot to be taken up by, like, as a player, I could have joined a campaign as a player and just been that. But I'm a teacher. Like I love, it's one of my life's greatest passions to educate and to be put in a role where I can facilitate something, where I can like lay a foundation for things. That is an incredible passion of mine, as you know, because I was your DM. So it really is something that will forever be with me, and I think. I wear the Forever DM badge like a badge of honor, for sure. I think it's more, I don't feel burdened by it, but at the same time, I would love to be a player. I really would. I talk about this all the time. I think, especially in the systems that I use, like Star Wars. Like, being a Star Wars character is like a dream of mine. It would be incredible. So yeah, I would love to be a player. But, you know, I also don't believe that I'm stuck or cursed to be a GM, because I love the role of a GM as well. It's one of my favorite things. Just in my life, it's one of my favorite things that I do. I mean, we're right now, we're in year 3 of my Star Wars campaign. And we'll probably end it this year, but it's coming to a good end, not like an interrupted end. We've basically met every week for 3 years. Like, that's insane. Like, that's an incredible blessing. And I love being the GM for that kind of campaign. Actually, I have a question. How can I convince some friends to do at least a single D&D session, but they keep declining because it's too complicated or it's something new and I don't like it? Choose a system that helps them. So if it's something new and they don't like it, that's their own issue to work out, and you should choose other people. If it's too complicated, you need to choose a system that's not complicated. One look. If I'm a new person, one look at Mutants and Masterminds, and I look at that PDF and I go, oh boy. Look at something like Powered by the Apocalypse, or Daggerheart, or, because it's in beta right now, so it doesn't have a lot of rules, or Kids on Bikes, or something else that is very dice light, and also very rules light, and focuses more on the narrative. Hello, Sylv. I think I understand that many systems are out there to try and cover as many rules as possible, and they end up being accidentally very intimidating for new people who don't know what to do in those moments. And Dungeons and Dragons has that problem as well. I think it's the Die RPG is another great example of a very like rules light and narrative heavy type of system that I would recommend as well. The 3 that I have in my mind are those 3. So, also Fate. So the Fate system, Die, Kids on Bikes, and Daggerheart. That's what I would probably recommend. There was another one I said earlier, but I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember it. But yeah, those sorts of systems are a lot more new player friendly because they don't bog them down with rules and with maths. So if I were you, I would start with those if you want to try and bring people on board, and then move on to a system that is a little heavier. I'm still so happy that I'm getting to hang around and listen to the Star Wars campaign now. Yes, Sylv is an official listener and spectator, and it is amazing to have her. She provides such lovely insights in the campaign. She's a great audience. She laughs at all the right moments. She brings out the right kind of reactions that I'm looking for when moments happen and the other players are being brain AFK. I get to tell her all my secrets, and she's always so invested in it, and I love it. It's a great privilege to have you here, Sylv. I miss having regular TTRPG sessions every Saturday. Rona put a kibosh on that, and things haven't gone back to the same since. I was like that in my in-person game. I was planning on having an in-person game for like a couple months. Katra will tell us about this now because he was part of it. This was his first D&D experience. I even remember his character, and I almost get emotional when I talk about it because it was such a special thing. And it was one of the first times that I'd done a homebrew campaign IRL. And we met every week, and we brought snacks, and we gathered for about a month, maybe 2 months, and then Corona put a big stop to that. We tried to do it online, and it just kind of fizzled out. It was one of the greatest tragedies, I think, because it was just setting up to be something so cool. I had some of the best moments I've ever had in a TTRPG in that campaign alone, and that was just because of the energy that an in-person game brings, you know. It just brings such a different vibe to the table. Die is a good one for most characters, even the stats are light. Yeah, the type of stuff that I look through for the stuff that we looked through for Die was pretty good. I enjoyed the stuff that we read for Die. Could you repeat those again, please? Kids on Bikes, Die, Daggerheart, Fate, Powered by the Apocalypse. That's the other one. So I'll write them down in chat. And what you can also do, it's Kids on Bikes is also called Never Stop Blowing Up, which is a system that oh shit. Wait, am I sending a message? Hold on. Oh, apparently not. Kids on Bikes, Never Stop Blowing Up is a Dimension 20 show, and they've adapted the Kids on Bikes system to be like a little more streamlined and stuff, like a little more action movie stuff. Kids on Bikes is a very like action light one. Yeah, so I've got 5 for you. So Powered by the Apocalypse, Kids on Bikes, Daggerheart. Daggerheart is a really rules light, like classic fantasy TTRPG, and I'd probably be using Daggerheart if I ran a game in my own campaign. So Chris, if we were doing our campaign like we were back then, we use D&D 5e, but what I would do instead now is I would use Daggerheart. You should go and look up that system, by the way. I think it works with the world of Ea very, very, very well. Kids on Bikes, Daggerheart. What else are we looking at? Die. And what was the other one? Oh, Fate. Fate. There you go. That's it, Raz. Corona, hearing that word just triggered a lot of memories. Bro, tell me about it. The world you created was amazing. You really did something special, and thank you. So did you. So did you. Your character was so cool. I was so sad. Arr! But there's something else I did with it. I actually did something else in the world. I played a trio campaign of, it was me and two other characters that then turned into 3. Who played more of a political intrigue kind of part on the other side of the world from where you guys started. It was very cool. Every Tuesday, I meet with my TTRPG group. We play Forbidden Lands. Oh, cool. Okay, what's Forbidden Lands like? All right, I'll look into them. Any sci-fi alternatives? I just dislike fantasy. 5-8, you dislike fantasy? That's so interesting. Why? I'm curious. No judgment, of course. I'm curious. Does it just not click for you as much as sci-fi does? Because, I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but for me, Star Wars is like a healthy dose of both fantasy and sci-fi. I think any sci-fi alternative, like rules light sci-fi alternatives. A rules light sci-fi RPG. Some people on Reddit are recommending... You know what? Yeah, let's go here. So this is... Let me share my screen again. We'll go into Reddit. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Oh, nice. That's on the left. Okay, cool. All right, I need a rules light sci-fi RPG. Recommendations greatly appreciated. Looking to start an RPG with a group of friends. I need something with a small rule book but hard and fast rules. I request this because about half the players are more unlikely to read the rulebook, and I'm okay with this, as some of them are new parents and have a lot on their plates. This is perfectly valid reason. We tried Fate Accelerated, but my players found the rules were too esoteric. It was hard for them to come up with stunts, and they didn't really understand actions. I'd like something where the rules are a bit more concrete, but with few rules overall. My players like solving mysteries, some combat, and a unique setting. Any recommendations are greatly appreciated. Yeah. Let's see. If you want something really light, check out Offworlders, which is a really concise World of Dungeons hack in the vein of Traveler. You could also do pretty well in Cepheus Deluxe, which is basically a pared down Mongoose Traveler with classic Traveler sensibilities. It has a ton of excellent GM tools, pretty easy system despite the book size. Traveler in most of its incarnations is a good choice. The complete set of rules, including everything for spaceship construction, space combat, world generation, and trading, are as big as most RPGs, but the core rules are really simple, and character sheets can fit on index cards or even less paper. That's incredible. Roll 2d6, add your characteristic dice modifier and your skill, get at least 8 to succeed. That's pretty sick, yeah. So Traveler 5A. Traveler sounds like a good system for like rules light sci-fi. At least this commenter said so. Okay. Just a big sci-fi fan overall, though the mix of both would be absolutely amazing. Nice. Well, yeah, I do. Well, I mean, you know, Star Wars. Star Wars exists. I'm also a big sci-fi fan. So it's not less that it's less that you don't like fantasy and more that you just really like sci-fi. That's fair. Totally fair. Okay, I'm glad the world got to get some love it deserved. I appreciate that. And hopefully we'll be doing more. I've been doing a little more writing for it and stuff, so yeah. Tales from the Loop is a bit like Forbidden Lands, I believe. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know those systems. Mothership fits the description, but it leans more on horror. Scum and Villainy is a great sci-fi... I read Scum and Villainy, and then that turned into sci-fi. I don't think it's too complicated. Both games don't shine in the setting department. Maybe try Coriolis, the Third Horizon for a cool setting. Stars Without Number is a big rule book, but that's mostly guidance. The actual rules are very light and easy to grok. What is grok? Get rid of knowledge? Get right on killing? I don't know. Quantum Starfarer Stelagama Publishing. What? 30 pages booklet based on Cepheus engine. Much more compact but complete. Solar Blades and Cosmic Spells. 2 XXX Promised Land. Explorers. Dude. Why? Tiny Frontiers. Why are there so many rules? Like, there's so many systems. It's fantastic. I love it. I think this is so cool. Traveler with its shipbuilding sounds perfect. Nice, nice. Yeah, Gold Rock. I played Scum and Villainy. It was okay. Okay. Grok. Understand something intuitively or by empathy. Really? That's a word? I didn't know. I thought it was a typo. Hang on. Grok definition. I mean, I believe you, Sylv. I just want to know, like, is it a new word? Wow. It is actually a word. I've never heard anyone use it before. Because of all the commercials, children grok things immediately. Grok sounds like... It sounds like the sound it makes when an orc downs a mug of ale. That's what, like, the last gulp. It sounds like a grok. Yeah, Tiny Frontiers. Yeah, some people say Traveler. A lot of people saying Traveler. Questing Beasts. Reviews of Mothership and Death in Space. Index Card RPG. Classic Traveler. Capriccio RPG. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff, man. Pretty cool stuff. Perfect description. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Lucky. We're talking about tabletop stuff. Okay, right. While we do this, I want to move on a little bit. I'm gonna look at... Let's see if there's something that people would like. I love D&D horror stories. I think this will be fun to look at for some advice. Answers. Okay, not 100% sure that this fits. Answer to a post from a newish DM asking how or when to put his foot down with his party, who seem to have just lost interest. Good grief. Number 1. Forget Discord or any other instant message besides when you're actively playing. Number 2. Force a backstory from them in-game. Number 3. Punish the players who are there when game is on by having them just say, "Not my problem." And shit talk the players when they fuck up, laughing at them when they miss, making fun of their fumbles, or you can award on-time XP. I have show up just for being at the table. Double that for those that show up on time even. God damn. This is a very confusing wall of text to read. D is ruining the D in D&D. Dragons are ruining the dungeons? Is that what's happening? Okay. Tyrannical Forever DM makes my first time DMing hell. Oh boy. My D&D group is out to get me. How to avoid main character syndrome. Okay. This is a good one. This is pretty good advice I can give, I think. It's past my bedtime. You're right! It's nearly 11 o'clock! Although what's the time in the Philippines right now? Hang on. It's 10 o'clock! Lucky you should be in bed. Goodbye. Niche word like midship man woman or pusillanimous. Where do all these toxic players find each other? Thomas. While this strange awkward music plays, I'm gonna play this one instead. Thomas, let me explain something to you. We have not just one, but potentially multiple groups of friends who have dedicated D&D groups with no issues, or at least very few, issues that are solvable, and campaigns that run long-term with a group of dedicated players that are excited to show up every day and give their all to collaborative storytelling. I cannot emphasize enough how rare that is and how special that is. And I know you know, probably, but I'm just responding to your question. I know that it was more rhetorical, but I just want everyone who is in this kind of situation, everyone who's kind of in this sort of group, to realize how lucky you are to be able to even have people like this in your presence who are so good at wanting to be better and wanting to do things the right way. It is incredibly rare. There is so much toxicity out there. Now, let me put it this way. I will also say rare in terms of it's a quality over quantity, but I think rare mostly because of circumstance, not because people themselves are bad, because of course there are no bad people, but instead that instead it's I think it's better to think of it as circumstances and socioeconomic conditions and locations and all of that. That gets in the way, right? But I think there's also a good helping of toxicity as well. I would say that there are more of us, you know, to quote Star Wars, but it is, the bad is loud, as we know. Bad is loud. And you're right, the people on Reddit, like thread upon thread of people lamenting their groups. This is very much confirmation, like, it's a bit of confirmation bias. Like, we see there's so many here because we're on a subreddit called D&D Horror Stories. So, of course, everyone is going to be talking about just that, you know? And they're not going to mix it with the others. Yeah, this subreddit is specifically for airing out these places, like, these instances, as Sylv says. Closest I've gotten to TTRPGs, ARGs, Mass Effect RP, and players improvising shit with roles such as two buff dudes pushing a maker across a battlefield. That, I heard about that. It was incredible. That is collaborative storytelling. Alright, so here's our first column of advice. How to avoid main character syndrome. Basically, how to avoid a D&D horror story. I would love to know your guys' thoughts, by the way, if you want to... What is your advice for keeping from becoming a main character as a player? I'll be playing in a campaign soon, and I'm anxious that I'll accidentally be a main character player. I don't want to, but I'm very excited for this adventure. I have great hopes that it'll be lasting if all goes well, and I don't want to screw it up. The problem is that my social skills are bad, and I also have anxiety, so I'm afraid I'll be bad company. I get very talkative when I'm excited or anxious, and I also like to think out loud. Luckily, I can notice this, so I shut up, but constantly monitoring how much I talk compared to the others is tiring, and I get stressed if I've already been a main character. I don't want to annoy the other players or the DM, they are my friends, and I don't want to take away their shine, but I also really want to participate as a player. This is so nice. Do you guys have any tips on how to maintain a balance? Like, how do you, as a player, notice if you start to talk more or initiate more in the game than the other players? I'm only looking for tips. Please be kind. I just want to be a good player and group member while also having fun at D&D. What an incredible person this seems to be. I think this person seems so kind and considerate, and it's just, this is so cool to read. Right, I have a couple of pieces of advice for this. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about it. While you type, I'm going to get some more water because I'm thirsty. And when I come back, we shall talk about this. Because I have thoughts. I'll be right back. And we're back. Right. Question number 1. How to avoid main character syndrome. The general thing that you must understand, and I'm speaking to anyone who also has this worry. I'm going to address specifically the idea of having main character syndrome. I'll be playing in a campaign soon, and I'm anxious that I'll accidentally be a main character player. First, I don't want to, and I don't want to screw it up. Okay. Very, very, very important thing to understand. Being a main character and not being a main character is a choice. It is a choice of behavior. Sometimes we might not realize it, but it is. What you are doing is choosing to act a certain way, and then that has the result of that coming across. What you can do, and you have the power to do this, is choose to act differently. Now, of course, this person here is asking how they can do that, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. Part of this is understanding that you have the power to do it, that it is within your ability to not do this. All right. Secondly, my social skills are bad. Firstly, that's why you play D&D and tabletop, so that you can learn social skills. So this is a really good decision to take then. And I also have anxiety, so I'm afraid I'll be bad company. You don't get to decide what other people think about you. Do not take away their agency by believing already that you are a burden to them before you've even opened your mouth, because you believe you're a burden. Do not project your insecurities onto your friends. Let your friends make their own decisions on how they feel about you. And there's something also very important that will tackle the social skills problem and the fear of being bad company all in one. Collaborate and communicate. Talk with your players and with your GM. Have expectations set before the game starts and talk about this. Bring this up and say, hi, I'd like to not do this. And you can figure that out together. If you try to tackle it alone, then when it comes up again, everyone will be a little bit confused as to what you're trying to do. It is so much easier at the beginning of the game to bring this up, as difficult as it might be for you to do so. Bring it up and say, hi, I'm worried. I'm worried that I'm going to talk too much. Can someone maybe stop me? Can we get a system going where if I do talk too much, can we sort of make me put a hand up if you want to speak, or some kind of system that works for you. But communicating with your group on how you can do this is great. A lot of people will have these fears and they'll be like, how can I not bring these fears to the table? How can I play in a way that my players and my fellow TTRPG companions don't feel burdened by my presence? Let them know that you have this fear. I know that everyone wants to appear as if they don't have the fear. They all want to show up at the table and be this well-adjusted person who doesn't have any skills to learn, and it's just so much more rewarding to come to the table with this vulnerability and say, hi, I'm feeling insecure about this. I'm here to learn how to not be, so let's help each other do that. Why would you try and suffer alone? Don't suffer alone at the table. You are not a burden, and it's not your job to determine if you are. Suffer with your party. A burden shared is a burden halved. Talk about it. Talk about it. It's not a taboo subject. Talk about it. That's what my advice would be for this. I get very talkative when I'm excited or anxious. That's wonderful. And I also like to think out loud. Also wonderful. A very good skill for TTRPGs. Thinking out loud, incredible. Luckily, I can notice this, so I shut up. No. Let your players decide whether they want you to shut up or not. Don't feel forced to shut up, because then you're putting it on yourself. Let your players decide. Constantly monitoring how much I talk compared to the others is tiring. Then don't. Then have another system that is less tiring. But you're not going to think of another system unless you bring that to the group. And basically this, like, I don't want to take away their shine. I don't want to annoy the other players. Like, just having this intention in your mind is already one of the best things you can have. Come to the table openly and honestly. All right, let's read your thoughts. Same, when people get friendly towards me, I just talk too much. What is too much? Too much is only determined by the people you're talking to, Baron. And if they don't tell you you're talking too much, you have to assume that they don't think you're talking too much. And if one person tells you you talk too much, and then another person doesn't, then you only talk too much in the opinion of that one person, and not in the opinion of the other person. Do you understand what I'm saying? People are different, and they deserve the opportunity to make an opinion of you differently. So if you think you talk too much, really you only talk too much to the people who have told you that you talk too much. And that's it. That's all you can really say. And if you talk too much for yourself, then that is something that you can change and control. But if it's something that you're passionate about and you like talking about it, then that's not too much. That's the perfect amount for you. Get excited. It makes it annoying for them. I don't intend to be annoying. They get tired talking to me quickly. Do they? I'm going to say it again. Do they tell you? Do they tell you that they're annoyed? How do they go about addressing this? If they feel that if they feel that you're talking too much, or if you're not letting other people talk, you're not listening enough, how do they tell you? And how many people have told you this? We spend our lives trying to read people's minds. It's not necessary. People need to tell you things, right? Okay. So I think to some degree, everyone should feel like a main character or have that main character moment. So supporting those who you feel aren't having that moment to have theirs might be a start. Right. That's a good piece of advice. So let's talk about the actual main character syndrome itself. Main character syndrome is what happens when a character at a table of TTRPG gets a little more screen time than others, takes the spotlight a little bit more often than others, hogs it a little bit, and generally just basically makes the plot about themselves and not about the group. I have found several ways, contextually, to help deal with main character syndrome. But the most important of which is communicating this fear to the other people at the table and having a GM that can intervene when something, in a healthy way, when something like that does happen. Giving it, in my opinion, the responsibility lies in part with the GM for giving a proportional amount of opportunities to each players, and it falls on the players to be mindful of how much time they are taking up for something. Not feeling pressured to do it, but realizing that a spotlight is shared. And throughout the entire campaign, it's one spotlight that like 6 people are under, or 4 people, depending on how many people you have in your party. And that's very important. One person can step forward every now and then, but they must always step back. One of the ways you can really think about this is like a movie. I often think of the tabletops that I run like movies or TV shows. Think of the camera work. Think of scene length. How long does a character deserve to have on screen before you pull back and allow another character to come forward and have a moment? In addition, if the whole tabletop game is a team game, why you can even think about it completely differently. Instead of bringing a character forward and then giving another character a turn and then giving another character a turn, you just kind of see them all as a group that constantly kind of interacts with each other. And even when they have solo spotlight moments, it's not because it's my turn to have a moment with the DM. It's because this is the natural way that the collaborative group story is going. And that's something that you can think about as well. The existence of a I take a turn, then you take a turn, then you take a turn kind of spotlight form of playing TTRPGs lends itself to a mindset that it's not 4 people in the GM. It lends itself to a mindset that it's the GM and you, the GM and you, the GM and you, the GM and you, and you are playing 4 individual stories, not one group story. And in essence, TTRPG is one group story. Yeah, God, when Rain's game starts, I'm gonna start off with so high I'm extra anxious. Good. Good. Good, 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 good. That's great. That's really good, Sylv. It takes a lot of bravery to do that, I'll be honest. But it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I think you should definitely give it a... I think you should definitely, like, yeah, give it a shot and be as open and honest as possible. Nobody ever did, but I can tell. No, you can't. Maybe you can. But you've got to think, no, you can't. It's not on you. It's not your responsibility to tell what other people are thinking and then change your behavior. It's their responsibility to tell you that they're bothered by something, and then you can choose to change your behavior or not. We do not have to make ourselves smaller for other people. That doesn't mean that we cannot be considerate of other people's feelings. There is a difference. We must always consider the feelings of those around us. Yes, very naturally. But there is a balance. When there's a difference between considering other people's feelings and believing that you are annoying. That's a big difference. When you consider other people's feelings, there is no assumption that you're being annoying. It simply stops at, maybe they might be annoyed by this, so I'll pull back a little bit. It's no big deal. It's not something that I feel like sensitive about. That is being considerate. Assuming that you are being annoying is insecurity that you have inside yourself. If they don't tell you, then you are not annoying. You have to know that. We are not responsible for the feelings of other people. We consider them, but we are not responsible for them. And it is so, so, so important to have that distinction. If you're worried about it, ask openly. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fretting about what you think other people are thinking isn't very helpful, sadly. Yes, it isn't. And remember, feeling like... Sorry, I'm going to use this. Feeling like you are annoying, or feeling like you are a burden, or feeling guilty, those are not feelings. Those are judgments. You are judging yourself. Feelings are valid. Judgments are not, depending on where they come from. So make that distinction as well. Baron, if I'm saying something that you don't quite understand, please let me know if there's like a language difference. I would love to like explain it in a different way. But that's how I feel about it. And all of these things are how you can help avoid main character syndrome, by the way. These are all very relevant. Okay. Let's look at some comments. If you're concerned enough to make this post, here's the best tip you could ever get. Be the character who bolsters their allies. Let's say you're a fighter. Sure, when the time to kick a door in comes up, you boot that door down. But if you find some ancient ruins in a temple, rather than rolling Arcana, be like, I know just the guy. Wizard, you got this. This is a great piece of advice. Gotta convince the gods you didn't steal? Shit, Bard, help me out here. I need that silver tongue of yours. Yeah. Heck, even in that door-kicking situation, get the second strongest character to lend a hand. Hype up your other players' big moments after the fact. Share in their enthusiasm while ensuring it's about them. The trick to being a beloved player is to be a team player, and to make the other players feel awesome about their characters. They, in turn, will more often than not do the same for you when it's your moment to shine because of it. Also, play a low charisma character. If you're worried you'll ever talk and steal the spotlight, best not to try and be the face of the party with high charisma. Yeah, 100%. That's a good shout as well. This is an interesting thing because it's a little bit subtle. There is a way to say this that makes you feel like even more of a main character. Because it's kind of like the main character going, come on, side characters, back me up. You know, like, you're my backup singers. We're all just as important. And sometimes it can feel a little bit like you're being more of a main character. There is a way that you can hype up your characters. There's a way that you can hype up your friends without making them feel like, I'm letting you do this. Remember, you're not letting them take the spotlight. They are taking the spotlight. They are choosing it. All right. They're taking their moment. I get it. Okay, good. I'm glad. Listen, I'm not going to pretend like insecurity and all of this stuff is easy, right? But you have the power. We all have the power to practice getting over it, and it is practice. You can do it, man. I believe in you. Love that person's response. Yeah, I think this is a great response. Yeah. You're playing with friends. Do they know how you are when you get excited or anxious? Yes, talk to them. Talk to them. Talk to them. If you're playing in person, maybe ask the DM or another player you're really close to work on a signal or a gentle way to let you know to dial it back. I'm 100% in favor of this. I have a campaign I'm playing in where it's all on Discord, so I'll mute myself and get all of my talking, excited chatter out so I'm not interrupting and disrupting a flow of the story. This is also good. If you're online, that makes a lot of sense. You can actually like mute yourself and then get all that, or get all the energy out and then go back to unmute when you're ready. That's awesome. Honestly, I know people who don't care if you're exuding main character energy as long as you aren't being toxic about it. It sounds like you just get really excited when you're in the moment, and that's an amazing thing. Yes. Please understand, when there are certain instances where hogging the spotlight is a valid concern for other people, and there are also certain instances where seeing someone else's excitement is a point of envy for someone else. Sometimes people see someone else's happiness and they go, why are you that happy? You shouldn't be. And then they get envious, and that leads to some tension at the table. So that's also another thing you've got to cut out immediately. Make sure that that's not being done. Play a low charisma character. My lady in Rain's game is going to be high charisma, but absolutely not the face, not a talker. I'm having a laugh thinking about it. That sounds great, actually. If it's a high charisma character, but not someone who talks a lot, it might be interesting. Like, you might be someone who has, like, you know, there's an expression with people, like, when people talk about other people who say really good things, like who say really powerful things, it's like they didn't speak a lot, but when they did, you really listened. Is that kind of how you're feeling about your character? Because I think that's a really cool archetype. I like that trope. Chris, you still have not told me about your questions with your DMing campaign. Like, what scares you? What is intimidating you? What are you excited about? What's the campaign about? What's going to happen? Is it D&D? What level are they starting at? How many people are in it? What are their levels? What's their class and background? Talk to me! Okay. Yeah, this is great. I think this one is the best. I think the best answer is just be open with your group about your worries. Let them know what you'd like them to do in response. This way your friends know it's something you're aware of and actively trying to address. They also know there won't be an issue if they do happen to have a problem with your behavior. If they're good friends, they can give you a polite nudge if or when you're being too much, and likewise give positive reinforcement when you're doing well. Yep, that's it. That's it. Literally, that's it. Duddles found a glorious description about it. In short, Arnold Schwarzenegger, man's not a fancy talker, but just being in his presence hypes you up. That's cool as hell. I like that. Alright, friend is here. I'm gonna go for while we shop for things I need for my car. Well, have fun, Alferg. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate you. My DM caused a tremor today. Okay. Interesting. New DM runs 6-person murder hobo campaign. Complains when overwhelmed. Party member wants to be him. This sounds like a main character energy. Problem player, or am I too sensitive? Oh, okay. I would love like am I the asshole D&D? I'd love to know. I like that stuff. Okay, let's read about it. Oh god. Okay. Right, here we go. Story number 2. Problem player, or am I too sensitive? Hello, Duddles. High charisma doesn't necessarily mean good or eloquent talker. Yes, absolutely. Charisma is force of personality. It doesn't necessarily mean verbal. You could be physical as well. Personality is a lot of things. Okay. I know this isn't am I the asshole, but I need someone to check me before I raise concerns to the DM. We have in our group a player we'll call Charlie. Charlie and I met in college over a decade ago, became friends, were in marching band together, and we eventually became roommates for a number of years. He introduced me to D&D via Pathfinder back in 2012. We're the same age. Give me a second. Let's go here. Here we go. Charlie and I have been playing for years. His recent behavior at the table, though, is really straining our friendship. I'll leave out the personal Discord drama and focus on the game itself. When I try to run games that aren't murder hobo games, but instead investigative horror, he now chooses to not play. He's decided that it's too stressful, which is fine and fair due to the content of the stuff. But he is a murder hobo in our regular game. I'm convinced he really just doesn't want to have to consider repercussions of his actions. Okay. This doesn't necessarily mean you're playing with a toxic person. This might just mean that you are playing with someone who just wants to be a powerful character, who just exerts their will in the world. Maybe they want to escape for a while. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person. Sometimes it's a red flag, but this on its own is just a difference in style of game. And then just don't play, you know? Just play something else. Okay, we'll keep this in mind. When I have run horror games, not D&D with him there, he refuses to make his own character and instead relies on pre-gens or me to provide him a fully developed character sheet. He then complains about not feeling connected to the world. We've played this system for almost a year now as our Someone is Missing game. Okay. Number 1. It is not the GM's responsibility to provide you with a fully developed character sheet. As a player, you have one job: to show up with a character. Now, sometimes the GM can decide to give pre-gens when a lot of people don't have time or things like that. But as a player, it is your responsibility to be invested in the campaign, to be invested in the world. You have to do your part to help everyone get invested in what's going on. That's one of your main responsibilities as a player. So this is also a bit of a red flag. Again, by the way, just bear in mind, we are only getting this person's POV. We are not getting the other person's POV at all. So I'm not laying any judgment at the feet of this person. I'm just saying that in general, it might be a little bit of a red flag. That's all. Very important to remember that. I'm not judging any of these people here. Every time we do something in the regular D&D game, he says, this would be a good horror system module. And every time I respond, it already is one. Because there is. I've advocated for the system enough, and he chooses not to play. Making suggestions about we should play this bit in horror setting is a slap in the face. Why can't our horror game be this instead is the tone, and I do not appreciate it. I know what this feels like. I know what this feels like. This, I've had players before who just, it feels, maybe it's an insecurity of mine, but it feels a little bit like you don't want to be here. If you constantly make references to, like, oh man, I wish this was I wish this was this system, or I wish this was that system, like, that gives me a vibe that, do you not like what we're doing here? Like, because if you don't, then just say so. Like, if you want to change something, just say so. Don't be like, oh, well, you know, this system does this better, or this system, like, it, in the middle of the game, mind you. If we're having a conversation about systems outside, then the context matters. That's fine. But it's like, yeah, it's a little bit off for me. The vibes are a little bit off if that happens. He gets up from the table in the middle of our regular D&D game to do any number of things, including working on his 3D printer, which is loudly running directly behind the DM as they're trying to run the game, interrupting the game to get food orders, looking for minis to paint, or grabbing a cat and carrying it around the table and telling everyone individually, pet the kitty. Before anyone stops me, before I give my main point, distractions are fine. If you are a fiddler or a fidgeter, that's okay. Find something to fidget with. This is not it. Like, I would not be okay with this either. This is very much, I don't want to be here energy. If you have other things that you have to do, tell people you have to do them. And then don't show. If you have other things that are very important. If you have distractions around you, if you have, like, you should find things that can keep your focus relatively on what is going on, so that you don't let down the team, because this is a team game. Make sure, if you know yourself, and you know yourself enough to know that you are a fiddler, or a doodler, or whatever, have a notepad. Have your cat on your lap. Do not pass the cat around. Have crayons. Have a fidget toy. Anything like that. A lot of that stuff works. Not a phone, not a tablet, not YouTube or a video game, but something that can keep you occupied. If you know that you are that kind of person, then make a plan. That's your responsibility. But don't put a 3D printer on in the middle of the game. Like, what are you doing? Just sit down. Like, ugh. Knitting. Knitting's a great one. Yeah. Absolutely. If it's not his turn in initiative, he pulls out his phone and with full volume starts doing Duolingo dailies. Nah, fuck off. I'd be so pissed about this. This is so shitty. I mean, I don't know anyone who thinks this isn't shitty, but just in case, this is incredibly shitty behavior. Please don't do this. Like, oh my god. Like, this is, again, I think one of the reasons why this is so, like, painful to see is that it is part of that mindset where it's me and the GM, and then when it's not my turn, it's them and the GM, and then it's the other person and the GM. No! Everyone is together. We all succeed and fail together. We tell a story together. It's everyone. It's not the GM and 5 people. It's not 5 individual stories. You are involved. You are as involved as everyone else. Even when it's not your turn, especially when it's not your turn. Some of this can be mitigated. If you feel bored when it's not your turn, fine. Some of this can be mitigated. Play a system that does not do that. For example, Daggerheart. Daggerheart does not have initiative. You just say, I want to do something, and you can do it. And you do like a system of hands and stuff. He regularly diverts everyone's attention from the game to Discord to look at memes we play in person. No. Come on. Okay, whoa. So, I think that the key word here is regularly. We often derail things to be like, hey guys, look in campaign memes. And then it's funny. Like, we give a campaign meme, a meme about the context of what we're doing, a meme about, about us and what we're talking about. A way to derail a little bit. That's fun. Like, we're chilled about it, right? But again, this is just obnoxious. This is just rude. Yeah. Sounds like the type of person who'd skip cutscenes. I feel that. That is a very apt description of what this person feels like. Again, I'm trying not to pass full judgment on them, because again, I don't know them, but taking these actions as just factually true, because I don't know if anyone would lie about this, this is just rude. So yeah. Last session, he invited a childhood friend over during play. This friend has never played D&D. We have a full party. We don't have spare character sheets. The DM was not asked. Red flag. The DM vetoed him playing, which led to the friend sitting at the table awkwardly as we played D&D without him. This is fair. If you did not prepare everyone for the presence of someone else, and they are not prepared socially to deal with that person, they do not have to. They should not be forced to. One player felt bad about it, understandable, so he chatted him up during play, which caused a ton of cross-table talk about life and not the game. In my opinion, he shouldn't have invited his friend at all. I agree. He could have hung out with him another night or said he was going to miss the game, but nope, this was his solution. No, you don't ruin the fun for other people just by, bringing someone unannounced. I'm okay with bringing people unannounced, but I'm a GM who would be. And I don't assume that my players would be okay with that. I would ask them first. Give notice. Give warning before you do stuff. We operate on a set of known quantities. If you want to switch a variable, let them know. I have had a large sit-down with the whole group before a session, specifically calling out diverting attention to Discord, disruptive behavior, and buy-in. He was presumably on Duolingo the entire time because he didn't change any behavior. This was last September, October. Okay, so this part is the most POV of it all. I would probably want to engage in active mediation regarding this to figure out the truth of this. This is conjecture. This dude has a habit of trotting out the narcissist's prayer anytime he's confronted about any of this kind of behavior. He regularly blames ADHD. I don't want to put the nail in the coffin of this decades-long friendship, but he's being such an insufferable asshole that I'm fed up with it. Am I crazy, or should I advocate removing him from the game? He's actively causing me to not enjoy the game. Advocate removing him from the game? No. Put it as an option, but communicating that you are upset with this and you don't want to be a part of the game is an option. And if other people agree with you, then you can talk about removing someone else. It's got to be different. I would, if I were you and I wanted to bring conflict to someone, to a group to resolve, I wouldn't start with fighting talk. I wouldn't come swinging right out the gate and be like, I want this person gone. You start by saying, my fun is being impacted here. I want to do something that is going to have lasting effects. Is anyone else's fun impacted? How can we fix it? And then if this is brought up as an option, then yes, fine. But if you come out swinging, it's going to be a fight. And it won't be easily resolved. Also, by the way, this is a personal pet peeve of mine. There are people who actually, like, one of the biggest things about having something like ADHD is managing it. That's the point of having ADHD. The most important step that you can take for your own life is managing your ADHD. That's the point. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying necessarily that you're, you know, everyone is supposed to, like, treat you as if you don't have ADHD, or, you know, treat you with the same standards as a neurotypical person. That's not what's supposed to happen at all. There should be sympathy for that. There should be empathy for the fact that you're struggling a little bit to, like, you know, like, get rid of distractions and things like that. That's totally normal. That's totally fine. But it is your responsibility to manage your ADHD. That is the point. You have ADHD, and then you manage it. That's how it works. Those are the steps you take. You don't use it as an excuse for your bad behavior. Yes, it can help us understand, of course. And I know this makes me feel, I don't want to come across as like a hardline. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I am very empathetic towards people who are not neurotypical. This entire group, this entire community is filled with neurodivergent people. Like, I don't think we have a single fully neurotypical person, like, at all. So I like to think I'm quite empathetic to that. And I do treat people like that with a lot of kindness and a lot of softness. But it still remains that it's your job to manage it. It's not my job or anyone else around you. We can help you manage it, but you're the driver. As an ADHD person, it sounds like they're not enjoying the time where they're not going something. Just me personally. It does seem like if they're not actively in the spotlight, they're not enjoying it, or they're not able to focus because they're not actively in the spotlight. And I think how they could maybe manage that is by widening what they think the spotlight represents. And maybe finding ways, because this is something that I struggled with quite a lot. In my early days of D&D, there was a campaign I was in where turns would sometimes take a long time because the DM needed quite a long time to think about things. So I spent quite a long time not doing anything. There was a point, I think during one of the big combats, where I spent like 2 hours just kind of not doing something because it wasn't my turn yet. And I was really bored, like really bored. And then later I went through some kind of development and some kind of changes. And then I got to a stage in my life where I realized that I needed to widen what I imagined the spotlight meant for me. And of course, the GM could have, like, maybe streamlined combat a little bit better. There must have been, like, a give and take. Maybe we could meet each other halfway in the future. But my point is that now that I think of the spotlight as something that is always shared and never just 4 spotlights on 4 different players and they each take turns, it's one big spotlight. And that means that technically I'm always in the spotlight because we're all a team. And focusing on that, being active during other players' turns, helping them, talking to them, that kind of stuff, that has really helped improve my enjoyment of tabletop games. Practically all tabletop groups that I've been a part of, either playing or spectating, have mostly ADHD people in them, and this kind of behavior still wouldn't be accepted. Yes, of course, because people with ADHD understand that they have to manage their ADHD. This sounds a lot like the relationship with one of my friends with whom I argued recently, which resulted in being blocked on Discord for a month. Allegedly, just IRL and not D&D related. I'm sorry you had that, 5-8. Yeah, that sounds pretty rough. Fighting with friends is never easy. It always feels bad. That, or they've become addicted to constant stimulation and they need help to wind down from their overstimulated habit. That's a good way of putting it. I like seeing this attempt to understand and empathize with them. This is really cool. I think that's an awesome perspective. Thanks for sharing that. This is what I learned this a couple of years ago. Like, I think it came from me coming to Korea, like just the big changes that my life went through. I started reframing a lot of how I see things, a lot of the things that I see, and that was one of them. Yeah. It's definitely helped my experience, for sure. And by the way, that requires constant, like, input from the other players. Like, the other players can help each other on their turns. I don't think that it should be like a sacred, your turn, no one else talk, blah, blah, blah. Like, it can be collaborative as well. Yeah, your attempt to empathize here is really cool. They become addicted to constant stimulation. They need help to wind down from their overstimulated health. That's fair, yeah. And if you need help to do something, that's fine. Maybe, but there's something that can be done without disrupting the entire table and, like, you know, the people there who are enjoying it. Okay. All right, edit. Okay, so with the reaction I've gotten so far, I'm glad that I mentioned his ADHD. It likely is a heavy factor and one that I needed to consider. It's probably something he can't quite control. Okay, yes. Good. It's really something that we need to it's really something that we need to understand here. You can manage it, but the impulses are not easy to control. This does put me at an impasse. My options have always been either I can suffer through, I can complain about it and hope he's removed, or I can leave. I don't think it's fair necessarily to tell him your disability is making me miserable, deal with it or kick rocks. That's true. US healthcare costs are prohibitive for him right now, tech sector layoffs, so meds and therapy are not an option. That feels punitive for something that he can't control, and that goes against my ethos. This person sounds really nice. It sounds like they're trying to find a way to cooperate and collaborate. And I'm glad that they've come around to the idea of they know someone has ADHD. It is something they didn't choose to have ADHD. So the impulses they have, they can't exactly control them. You can manage them, but you can't exactly control them. Management takes practice and a lot of training. And I really appreciate that this person is reaching across the aisle to be empathetic to this. This is very cool. I do notice the other GMs get frustrated with his behavior. That's natural. It's okay to be frustrated. I think a lot of people tend to end up walking on eggshells a little bit around, especially around people with ADHD, because they know that they can't control the ADHD. Be open about it. Trust me, the person with ADHD that you're interacting with knows. They know. They know that they can be frustrating. They're aware of it. So be open about it. Don't pretend that you're not frustrated. If you are, it's okay. Be open and communicate about it. Just understand that you should, just understand that there are ways to communicate that are kind and not hurtful. So don't just go, hey, you're annoying, stop being annoying. That's a shitty way of putting that. Just say, hey, I don't know, like if he was doing this, I'd say, hey, let's find something else to do that doesn't, like, you know, disrupt everything that's going on. Or I could put it even softer. In the situation, think about a way to say that is kind. You can be honest without being a dick. We do have to rein him in when he gets particularly bad. I've talked to him. Talk to him about ways that you can rein him in that make him don't feel reined in. I've talked to one other GM about this privately. He agrees it's an issue. We're both non-confrontational by nature, so it continues. No. You are not non-confrontational by nature. You are non-confrontational by choice. Choice. You choose to do this. Non-confrontation is a choice. It is a behavioral choice. I believe this 100%. I've thought about this for many, many, many years. It is a choice. You can choose to change this behavior whenever you want. You can choose to decide to confront things. When you decide to not confront things, you choose to not confront them. That is a choice you make. I just want to get that really clear. I know I'm being quite passionate about this, so I understand if maybe I'm using words that are a little bit harsh, but please understand, this, like, by nature thing, we decide what our nature is. Bar things like ADHD, which are things we can't choose or we can't control, we decide our behavioral patterns. We have control over our behaviors, with the exception of the ADHD that we're talking about, and other things similar to that. At the end of the day, I think the only choice that meshes with my personal beliefs is to finish out the current campaign in our regular game, and 1 to 2 sessions, and then take a hiatus from tabletop. It sucks. I've roleplayed with these people for years, but it's just unbearable for me now, and I don't look forward to it anymore. It always feels like a chore. The resentment I'm gaining is souring the experience to me, and honestly, I could be doing something that makes me happy in that time instead, like going to concerts or writing music. Thanks to everyone for your suggestions, advice, and perspectives. If this person wants to leave, that is their choice as well. That is their prerogative. It is not... you do not have to suffer. No D&D is better than bad D&D. I'll say it again. No D&D is better than bad D&D. If you're not having fun, leave. Let me put it away. Let me put it in a better way. If you're not having fun, and you've tried to salvage the situation, and you cannot, leave. That's fine. You'll find someone else. You'll find another group. They're there to let some steam out and have to go through stuff like this? Yeah. Be open but also kind. Yes, absolutely, Sylv. Rejection sensitivity dysphoria is extremely big among ADHD brains. I agree. Have to be kind. I was talking about the guy I mentioned earlier, not poor people with ADHD. Yeah, no, I know. You have to be kind. You have to be kind. I would say be kind to everyone, but be especially kind when you're dealing with, like, disorders and neurodivergence. Be especially kind and considerate to those people. There are ways you can put it. You do not have to walk on eggshells. You do not have to ignore it. You can talk about it. It just is a matter of how. That's all. This was a great article to read. This sparked a lot of thoughts in my head. I hope this sparked a lot of discussion in your mind as well. Stop inviting him? It's a bit final. Also, with the Duolingo, I would not be having a group meeting to address everyone's concerns. I'd be saying, Charlie, turn that shit off for fuck's sake, at the time he was doing it. Same with the 3D printer. See, again, this doesn't feel very kind. I guess if you're completely uncomfortable with confrontation, since he won't play investigative horror, you could play only Call of Cthulhu for a full year and then stop inviting him since he hasn't played for a year. Yeah, so this is... You don't have to... Confrontation is not a fight. You don't have to be a dick about... Confrontation just means you're not ignoring something. You don't have to go all the way to the opposite end and go, turn that shit off right the fuck now. Like, that's not how things go. There is a way you can do it. Okay. I have ADHD as well, and yes, it is a burden, and different people cope in different ways. With that said, ADHD is not uncommon, especially in gaming spaces. Correct. We are discovering more and more and more people every year as society gets safer, comparatively safer, for people with ADHD to get tested and to come out and be officially diagnosed. That is, we see the numbers go up. Very much, just before you think about it, very much like gay people or trans people or left-handed people is a great way of talking about this. As society accepts it more, the numbers go up. So we are now starting to see a huge rise in ADHD people, especially, as this person says, in gaming spaces. Other people don't do this stuff. It's not ideal to be distracted, but it's understandable. If he was on his phone or doodling instead of paying attention, that would be distracting him, but not anyone else. That's not what he's doing. He's disrupting play for the whole table constantly, ignoring his weird preferences for murder hobo games versus investigative horror. Yeah, this is just a different taste. He's just being boorish. He's rude to you, rude to his childhood friend. Seriously, you couldn't take a night off D&D to take his friend out or watch a movie or something? He's being a menace. This may well have to do with his mental health, but the thing is, if he can't be distracted in a non-disruptive way, he shouldn't be playing. This sounds like a nightmare game to me. I wouldn't go so far, but I understand the feelings of frustration here, especially because this person seems like they've also been a part of this. They speak with a lot of accuracy about it. The frustration feelings are real. For real, yeah. I love the chart of left-handedness. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, the amount of people who have left-handedness apparently is more now. No, it's not more. It was always like that, but we called them witches and killed them, or forced them to write with their right hand so they get out of it. You have valid concerns. Your friend is being disrespectful and has been informed of at least some things that he's done that aren't appropriate. I'm not generally one to start by invoking the idea of a social contract, but in this case, I think it's a decent approach. If your friend has a set of standards, which would be the same standards applied to everybody else there, he doesn't have a valid defense if he ignores the rules. It's the social version of, we'll give you as much rope as you can possibly need. You get to choose whether you're going to hang yourself with it. That's a crazy expression, but sure. Yeah. All right, very, very interesting story. Very interesting story. Ha, I'm a lefty. Me too. I'm a leftist and a left-handed person. Except not naturally. Did you know this? I am representing left-handed people in a completely opposite way. Is very interesting. When I was younger, I had an accident with my right thumb, and with the kind of the bandage that was on my hand at the time when I was I was learning to draw. And so while my thumb was healing, while I was learning to draw, I drew with my left hand. And therefore, I started writing with my left hand. And before I knew it, now I'm left-handed. But I still do things with my hand, with my right hand. So my right hand still throws a ball or catches a ball. It's still primary for like bigger things. But for fine motor coordination, I use my left hand. It's really, really interesting. Or interestingly, my right hand is also still more dominant for playing the piano because I learned that later in life when I was 6. Very, very interesting. Yeah, that's my party trick. My weird thumb. Okay. Yeah, I think there are lots of stories we can do here. Katranus, I'm still waiting! Still waiting for you to tell me about your campaign! I've asked you so many times. Please. It's the last thing we'll do today. Because if we read too many stories, we're going to be up late. And honestly, I do like the fact that we can keep these, that we can kind of keep these sort of night streams a little bit shorter, because the Mass Effect streams went on for like 5 hours, and I just can't do that at 10 o'clock at night. I want to improve my sleeping schedule. A really well-made campaign with great story, awesome battles, and lovable NPCs. Dick jokes. This is my party, though. This is not a horror story. Okay. That was fun. That was fun, guys. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate that. I'd love to hear any of your other things. Like if you have any other stories you'd like to share, any other questions you have based on the discussions we've had today, anything else that we anything else that you want to discuss in this tabletop stream, let's get out those last little thoughts and perspectives and things, and then we'll call it a day. I tried typing it a lot, but the YouTube character limit is tough. Brother, 200 characters is insane. I wish they could fix it. I really, really wish they could fix it. What I like to do is copy it, type it out on a notepad, and then paste it like one at a time. Or you could join Discord voice chat, and we could talk about it. Wow, such a short live stream. Yeah, I prefer not to go on for too long unless we're like playing a sort of series game or whatever. I feel like we've talked for a good amount of time, and remember, it is also like midnight for me. So I prefer to, when I play Mass Effect, almost every single Mass Effect stream that we had, I was in bed by 3 in the morning, and it's done a number on me. It really has. So I want to try and fix that. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Any advice on how to do a fun, more investigation-focused session for my M&M group? I can do battles really well, but I admit I struggle at making a fun investigation. You should see some of my notes for investigations. Let's... Investigations, what is so challenging about making intrigue in tabletop is that the route the players take, you will never be able to foresee. So don't try. Don't ever try to foresee what they'll do, because you don't know what they'll do. Your job is to take elements and place them in the world. And that's it. That's it. You don't have to connect anything. It's a I suppose a sort of secret amongst some GMs. You can place elements of the intrigue in the world, have different places that have like different clues and things, and then just let them do what they want with it. And then have that be the thread. Remember, it is collaborative storytelling. Let their creativity guide the story. If they are players that are creative enough, my advice for you is to leave it as open as possible for you. Have all the elements that could possibly be there in the story, have them in the story, and then in the session itself, work with your players as they make choices, as they pick things up to tie things to the plot together. The one thing I would say is have NPCs ready beforehand. So this is the person who's responsible. This is the person they're going to meet. This is a person who's going to give them this clue, etc. Have people and NPCs around as well. But in terms of the thread that they're going to go through, they do that, not you. So I would say you provide the puzzle pieces and they make the puzzle. And all you really need is a starting point and a kind of an end point. Basically, like the kind of things that you want them to figure out by the end of the investigation. But how they get there is completely up to them. That's my advice. TLDR, current DM is inexperienced and left a lot to be desired, especially combat. Only 3 days ago did the players convince me to take the step to DM. What did your DM think about that? Were they blindsided by this? Did you force them out? Or was it a, listen guys, I can't do this, and then they left on their own? Are they going to be a player now, or are you just going to swap? And also, how do you feel about that? Are you going to restart the campaign? How do you feel about like taking control? If the campaign continues, like, do you feel confident about it? Do you feel like you can do it? They want me to DM for the longest time. That's cool. That's cool. Well, I mean, based on the work that I did with you, I think you've got a good potential for it. I use the word potential very loosely. That doesn't come with any expectations. I don't expect that you'll do well, and I don't want you to feel like you have to do well. And I don't want you to feel like you have to do well. But I think you can do it. I definitely think you can do a good job if you want to. His campaign is mostly just a historical mystery, one that he riffs off of his history knowledge. Oh, cool. Okay. Are you going to change the campaign then, or are you going to follow in the old DM's footsteps? What's the plan? And is it D&D? Are you running with the D&D system? I'm very excited for you. That sounds great. $5E. Okay. Okay. What is the one thing that you are most excited about, and the one thing that you are most worried about? So I think I'll make a new one, since most of the players want a fabric setting. I assume you mean fantasy setting? Yeah, fantasy. Okay. Okay, Raz, but I'm having trouble making that trail of breadcrumbs so that it is both fun and exciting and followable for my player. That's what I'm saying, Raz. You're only putting the breadcrumbs. You're not making a trail. They make the trail. So let me give you an example. You want an investigation. Let's say it's a murder mystery. You have, in a room, you have a body, you have a knife, you have a stick of bubblegum, you have a partially open door, you have a broken glass. You don't know what happened. You don't have to know what happened. Let them figure it out. That's something that can happen. It is totally valid. If you can't think of something to make it, like, compelling, don't. Let them do it. You might think that it's only your job to give all the pieces and they just discover them, but they get to make pieces as well. they get to make connections that help shape your story. Remember, it's collaborative, right? And that part of collaborative storytelling, I think, is a very underutilized one. I'm not saying I use it all the time, but I've done it before, and it's been very effective. Because then the players feel like they've had full agency in it. It's awesome. Really, really cool. It is improvisation. It is. But you've done the groundwork first. So you put the elements that you want, and how they work with those is completely up to them. Am I misunderstanding what you're saying? A little bit like the gif of Wallace and Gromit, the dog with the railway tracks. Yes, you're putting the railway tracks on as they go through the story. Yes, absolutely. And you might think that that's flying by the seat of your pants, but it's really not. It's collaborative storytelling. Does that work if I want them to eventually follow in a certain direction? Like, so that they eventually find that aforementioned demonic gunrunner in the sewers? Okay. Let's say they want to find an aforementioned demonic gunrunner in the sewers. Then you let all... Basically, you put all the elements in, and at the end you go... It all depends on how much you trust yourself. How much do you trust your ability to lead them into the sewers based on what they find and how they put it together? Because if you can, try do it in session. It's a really cool challenge. If you don't, then I may recommend that each main element, let's try it like this. This is a really good strategy if you're not going to improvise fully. Divide elements into primary elements and crucial elements and contributing elements. Contributing elements are small things about the investigation that the party pieces together to make evidence. Primary elements or crucial elements are elements that lead to plot hooks. They either lead to discovering more information about NPCs or about the main plot, or they lead somewhere else. If you want the party to go to the sewers, have crucial elements lead to the sewers. Let the contributing elements, the lower tier ones, let the players piece those together. But every time they find a crucial one, tie it in some way to the sewers. So if they find a knife, maybe the knife has grime on it. If they find water, maybe the water's dirty. Maybe it's sewer water. If they find footprints, maybe the footprints are wet. Maybe they lead underground. If they find a broken glass, maybe the broken glass was part of a window that led to a vent that led to the sewer entrance, with like a manhole cover that's undone. This is just off the top of my head, but these are ways that you can still make it a collaborative story while also planning out the end game in your mind. Okay, Chris, I'll read your stuff now. To be honest, at this point, I mostly think I need help with is a little bit you can do it and advice for scheduling session lengths since they're all in Camerata. Yo, it's Camerata? Oh, cool! You're doing choir D&D! Yo! That's awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you. Since they can't do weekly, I feel it might be tough to get some investment in the current system is once or twice a month if we can do it. Yeah, scheduling is rough. Scheduling is the reason that 9 out of 10 campaigns fall flat. So don't feel bad about it. It's something that happens a lot. Don't take it as a personal failure, by the way. It's not on you if scheduling doesn't work out. Yeah, Silva's also a choir nerd. Okay. Good advice. We'll definitely take all that into consideration. You're welcome. I'm happy to have helped you. I hope that it was sufficient and that I understood what you were trying to ask me. Just understand that all of this is from my own experience and what I've done and what I see other people do as well. So it's not guaranteed to work for you, but it might, and I hope it does. I'd love to hear about it. Please tell me how it goes when you do it. Slide into my DMs. I'll be in contact with you in the future when things are coming together. Hell yeah, do it. Absolutely. My DMs are open. You can message me anytime. I have an idea of how I'm going to do things. I'm just going to talk with the group so I can get a better idea what each of them would want from the experience. Good idea. Good idea. Yeah, I'm no longer in that choir at the moment, though, but the rest are. Okay, cool. Okay. So, if you were looking for advice, you said that you were looking for a little bit of you can do it. Of course you can do it. Anyone can do it. That doesn't mean that you're not special. It means that you can do it. Of course you can. Yes, you can. That was never in question for me. So yes, of course you can do it. And the advice for scheduling, be flexible, but not... Be flexible, but not a doormat. So if you want a regular session time, push for a regular session time, even if it's once a month. Maybe try once every 2 weeks. Try once every 2 weeks on the weekend and see how that goes. Test different things. You don't have to stick on one schedule and then that's the schedule. You can change it up as the campaign goes. So start with once every 2 weeks. If they like it, if they want more, try once a week. If they want to pull back if they're too busy, try once a month. A lot of D&D groups meet once every 2 months, and then that's just 4 hours. And also understand that meeting once a week is a different campaign from once every 2 weeks. You are spending a lot of time in the real world and not a lot of time in game. You're going to have to tell quite a different story. You're going to have to pace that a little bit differently. Session length, as long as they can. As long as they're willing to. Usual D&D lasts 3 to 4 hours in a session. Many people can go longer. Many people still cannot go that long. I know that I can, probably to my detriment, I can go for 6, 7, 8 hours if I am in the mood enough. It's not good for me. It's not healthy, but I can. I don't approve of that, though. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend 4 hours maximum. And go for 3 if you can. Anywhere from 3 to 4. It might be tough to get some investment in the current system. Then you can try a different one. Try a different system. Especially if they're new. But if you like 5e and you know 5e really well, then yeah, do 5e. 5e once every 2 weeks is perfectly fine. Yeah. I think you'll do awesome. I was so sad when I left at the end of last year. Why did you leave? Did you leave university? Did you graduate? Or did things get too busy? That's what I did for my final year. I got too busy, so I left. Scheduling for session length itself is completely impossible. Yeah. I would say you can set a goal, but it might go over. We always go over. So we usually go over. I don't like to, but we end up doing it anyway. We go 4 hours most of the time. Sometimes like 4 hours, 4.5 maybe. We once had session length plans completely derailed because players spend half an hour RPing on whether to boil or cook their food. I fondly remember those 14-hour sessions my group used to have back in the day. Man, me too. I've had those. They are freaking awesome. Yeah, started 2 p.m., ended 4 a.m. God, incredible. I can't keep that up anymore. I'm in my 2.5 year in the moment. Next year is my last year. Okay, cool. Did things get too busy for you? Is that why you left? I'm sorry to hear that. It was really hard for me as well, especially when I was still in university. With regard to your GMing, my main advice for you would be communicate about everything. Be as open as possible. Remember, many GMs think that they have to do all the heavy lifting. It's not true. It is collaborative storytelling. You go to your players with ideas. They come to you with ideas, and you work together. I recommend for your first game that you come and talk to players as a group, not individually. Just let everyone kind of sit there. And if they have secrets they want to keep from other players OOC, let them know they have a secret. And if they don't want to tell them what it is, just be like, I'll whisper it in your ear or whatever. But have group sessions where you discuss, hi, what do you want to do? What do you guys want to make? And if you communicate openly and honestly and kindly at every step of the way, you can't go wrong. Communication is the most important thing that I would advise for D&D. Or any TTRPG. The communication makes your players feel safe and looked after, and it makes you feel more secure in what you're giving to them. It makes them feel more secure in what they're giving to you. It just makes everything better. Communication makes everything better. So from the beginning, they should know each other. They should know what kind of play styles they have. They should know what kind of play style you have, and you should know what they want from you, and they should know what you want from them. That's the goal for the beginning part of communication. And then work on it. You don't have to draw a bench line and be like, that's it, we'll never come back to that again. You can change expectations as you go, as long as it is communicated with the group. It was too much since computer science means I have to be able to crunch out a weekly practical, and sometimes they could take 12 hours when the contentment was tough. Dude. That sounds insane. I wish you luck, really. I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. But really, may the force be with you for your final year. I hope that it goes well. But I totally understand why you would leave choir for that. I really do. Alright, everyone. Let's say we say goodbye for now. So it was mostly because you were told about the performance and a weekly prac becoming impossible. It just made it tough. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Because choir does not give you as much notice as your degree would. So, and sometimes it's vice versa as well. It just, yeah, I get it. I get it for sure. Yeah, the expectations that are on you in choir are very rough. Being in committee kind of disillusioned me. Oh boy. Congratulations for getting onto the committee, but also, oh boy, could I tell stories? We can talk. We can talk. I really enjoyed my time on committee, but it was also very eye-opening for me. I'd love to talk to you more about that. Bro, when you're back from your holiday, please hit me up. I'd love to have a chat with you on Discord about it. And about D&D as well, of course. Alright, well everyone, I think that is a good place for us to end it. It's just past midnight. We've been going for just 2 hours on the dot. What a wonderful time that it has been. I truly appreciate all of your presence here so far. Yeah, thank you so much for everyone who attended. If you're watching live, that's great. Thanks for providing your insights and your discussions. If you're watching on the VOD, leave comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. And no matter how you've arrived here, no matter what your mood is or how your day's been or how your mental health is doing, please know that you are welcome here, each and every one of you, equally welcome. Thank you for making this a part of your day and for letting us talk about this passion that we have. I always appreciate this, and I will be seeing you in the next stream. This will be all our streams for the week. So let's say goodbye. This on Tuesday morning we will be back. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. We might play some VR. I might do another little game that I have planned. There's a game about looking after a child who is an orphan of war called My Child Lebensraum or something. No, Lebensraum is it Leben something. And I'm looking at playing it on stream. I have no idea what it is about except for that. So I'm quite excited. I might try that on Tuesday, so stick around for the announcement on that. If you haven't joined the Discord already, consider doing so. And other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day further. No matter what time of day it is for you, make sure you stay hydrated, that you are kinder to yourself than you're currently being, and I will see you all in the next stream where we do it all over again. Take care. Goodbye, John. Thanks for showing up.